race icon as well. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran representing Ximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent going for an early gas. Oh my god, okay, going for a 15 hatch. We have our Brazilian Zerg, also for Ximius Gaming. It is Dorminhoco. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Personally, I do give the edge to Dorminhoco, but I do think it's going to be a close one. Again, we are entering kind of the phase of the tournament where we have our GM players up against each other, and this can go either way. This can also go to the ace bench as well. We can see Kamikaze setting up the low ground. Looks like a 2x Reaper opener out of Kamikaze. Meanwhile, Dorminhoco going for a hatch gas pool opener, I would imagine. Here we go. Here we go. Yep, as there we go. It is going to be 2x Reaper here out of Kamikaze. A much more aggressive start from our Brazilian Terran player. Meanwhile, Dorminhoco back at home going, yep, hatch gas full. Standard opener, going for the slightly earlier hatchery, of course, just to be a little bit more efficient. And with that, it's going to come down to the control of the micro, the setup here between our two players. We'll see if Dorminhoco can keep up with the Reaper harass of Kamikaze. Now, when it comes to these Reapers, the goal here, this is not an all-in, we should be expanding behind this, but the goal here is to delay the third. That's the goal, to delay the third base for as long as possible, and to potentially pick off a worker here or there, trade against the army, but that shouldn't really be happening. Again, just the main big goal is to delay the third. Delay the third and disrupt the economy of the Zerg player. As Reapers are on the way. Likewise, Dorminhoco is going for that third expansion. Overlord does confirm the 2x setup, does confirm the 2x Reaper. Despite that, Dorminhoco is still going for the third. Bold move. Is still going for it. And we'll see if he can maintain himself. As he's going to be moving out. Reapers, they hit the natural. Oh, and the first drone is under fire. The Spore is missed. One drone goes down already. Yeah, brutal pick off. Again, the power of the first Reaper. Second Reaper's on the way. Does meet up with the first. The Queens can maintain themselves. Link speed is on the way. Dorminhoco staying in gas. Does keep one in. Building up. Third CC's on the way. Hatchery taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. Once Link speed finishes, then Dorminhoco, he can shut down these Reapers. But until then, the Reapers, they are getting damage here on the hatchery. It's getting low. Dorminhoco, he moves out. Oh. He's trying to, and he will deflect for now, but yeah, the hatchery, it's so low, and forcing a cancel this close to it finishing is brutal. And this is why I mentioned before that typically the goal here is to delay the third, and he might even just get a kill. Link speed kicks in. Oh my god. Link speed is on. The hatchery is barely saved. No transfuse. He injects, he spreads creep. No transfuse available. Lings are trying to collapse on the army. Oh, he almost gets us around. The Jukes! The Jukes pop up, and the Reapers, they will escape. One Reaper goes down, just the one. But Dorminhoco, he barely holds on to the expansion. Just barely. If this was killed or if this was cancelled, that would have been a brutal loss, and Dorminhoco would have fallen behind. But he's maintaining himself. He's holding on, he's maintaining himself. Likewise, across the map, Kamikaze, his third CC is done. Getting into his own 2-1-1. Reapers, they dive back in. They do snipe a creep tumor. Tumor is down. Dorminhoco rushing into a fast lair. I mentioned earlier I did bring attention to the gas mining that was going on here from the Zerg player, and to head into this early of a lair here does feel quite odd. This could lead into like a Link Queen Nidus all-in. This could lead into 2-base Muta. We can see, yeah, there it is. It's going to be for Roaches. For an early Roach Warren into, I would imagine, early Roach speed. These gases are being taken. Back at home, we do have a 3-1-1 setup. Reapers rotating around. Looking for another way in. Now Kamikaze going to be opening up a Viking first. And Dorminhoco, he does at least confirm the setup here. He's aware of the 2 axes, so he's aware of the 2-1-1. Likewise, he's aware of the 3rd CC timing as well. Confirms that there's nothing crazy behind this. It is going to be bio play from Kamikaze. I mentioned before that he is known for mech. So it is good that, of course, Dorminhoco confirms that it is bio. Second overload goes down. 1-1 on the way. Dorminhoco embracing and committing here into a more heavy roach army. Lings likewise ready for a counterattack as well. And so far, Dorminhoco is holding on. This low hatchery is still... It's making me feel uneasy. The hatchery, it's so low, Pat. Hopefully we get a transfuse at some point. Hopefully. For everyone's sake. Likewise, we do see Kamikaze being a little bit ambitious here with the Viking. Looking for another Overlord. Is hunting. Likewise, Kamikaze is yet to really move out. He's waiting for his upgrades. 1-1 is about to finish. Stim is done, of course. Oh, the Lings, they are premature. Ideally, you want to wait for the Bio Army to move out before diving in, but the Lings, they reveal themselves, and Dorminhoco has to back off. Does have to back off, does have to retreat. Alright, I should also emphasize as well what even his name is. I should just fix it on the UI. Yeah, there we go. But Dorminhoco, that is the Portuguese or the Brazilian equivalent of Sleepy. Sleepy is his, I guess, English name. Dorminhoco in Brazilian. And acordado is kind of like a play on words. Some of the players do this where it means the opposite. Oh, as the roaches, they get caught out. Yeah, brutal fight here for Dorminhoco. Bleeds out all of his Lings, bleeds out most of his roaches. Yeah, rough start for the Zerg. Bearing in mind that even though the Zerg player is up in army supply, that is inflated supply. It is mainly roach based, roach ravager, so the soup does lie. Soup does lie. Kamikaze sims in. Sims in, takes out more roaches. Dorminhoco in a bit of trouble. Where are the vials? The tank's still standing strong. The vials are not there. Brutal pickoffs. Roaches go down. Ravagers go down. The tank still stands strong. Dorminhoco trying to overwhelm. But not the most efficient fight here. As he will lose every single roach. Tank finally goes down. But that was not the best trade here. Dorminhoco losing every single roach, every single ravager. Marines, they stim in. They can have their way with this army. Finally, reinforcements have arrived. Dorminhoco, he barely holds on. He barely survives. That was 37 roaches for 14 Marines on 1 tank. That is crazy. 4 Ravagers as well. Again, there's a reason why we do emphasize that, like, Roach Ravager is inflated supply. You can have a massive Roach Ravager army. It doesn't matter. Like, it's very inefficient. And that's one of the more extreme side of things as well. As Kamikaze did trade very well against the army. Dorminhoco is trying to hold on, and he's in trouble here. Dorminhoco is in trouble. Dorminhoco is down in workers, down in economy, even on bases, or soon to be, I should say, as the 4th base is on the way. And the army just isn't quite there. Has to rebuild his Ravagers from scratch. As Kamikaze moves out, Dorminhoco is moving in. Ideally, he wants to try to force Kamikaze to turn around. To buy time. Kamikaze does turn around. A nice moves here from Dorminhoco, as long as he doesn't lose the army, though. He dives in. Kamikaze racing back home. SCVs are going to go down, but Dorminhoco has to get the hell out of here. We see Kamikaze trying to catch him off. Trying to cut him off, even. Dust him in. 6 SCV kills. Marines, they come in from behind. Tank volley's going to be going off as well. Ooh, and he's going to bleed out quite a bit of supply. Vials, they do zone away. Dorminhoco, he gets out. Does get out. That was 3 roaches. Only 3 roaches going down. Much, much better move here from Dorminhoco. Losing the bare minimum. forces back the army, and he gives himself time to build up more roaches and lings. But I do still give the edge to Kamikaze here. For the first time this game, I believe, Kamikaze is up in army supply. He's up in supply. And that's a terrifying prospect, especially when the Zerg player is playing with Roach Ravager. While as they pop off, they take down one of the tanks. Dorminhoco, he cannot fight this. He knows he has to pull away. He has to pull away. Kamikaze at this point, he can stim and he can win. He can stim, he can win, he can just break on through. There's nothing really to stop him. Oh, some of the bios do connect. Nicely done. The Kamikaze can just snowball from here. Bailey's there waddling in. Bios, ooh, they do connect with the tanks. Tanks did stack up. Nice moment here for Dorminhoco. It was a nice moment, but the hatchery, it's finally going to go down. The hatchery. It's still standing? No, wait, what? Hatchery barely survives, but I can't say the same for the Roaches or the Ravagers. Oh, the Biles, they connect. Kamikaze taking the Biles to the face. Does take them to the face, but he likes it, He likes it as he still breaks on through. Sims on 4, takes on the final Ravager. Forced to pick up the hatchery. Somehow it's still alive. This feels illegal. 35 HP. Barely survived. Tank goes down. Dorminhoco, he's holding, but he's down in supply. Like, he's still falling further behind. Kamikaze still has momentum, still has the edge. Just waiting for reinforcements. Did keep and preserve all his medevacs. He has how many medevacs? 12. 12 medevacs. Crazy. And with this third move out, I'm not so sure if Dorminhoco can hold on this time. He's got a couple of Banelings. They roll in. They don't quite get the connections they're hoping for. Banelings to get shut down. And this fourth hatchery is under fire. The fourth hatchery is exposed. It's down the low ground. Banelings, they roll in once again, but they crash into mainly Marauder. And hopping up by Kamikaze. And GG gets called. Kamikaze takes game number 1. GG. Does take a lead in the series. Again, just a really rough start for Dorminhoco to open up, and I mean, he did save his hatchery at least, that is true, but he did fall back onto Roach Ravager. If you remember, the start of the fight was, I want to say, like 10 roaches getting caught in the center of the map. It was just a really rough start to the move outs, and Kamikaze just snowballed from there. Just never really allowed Dorminhoco to recover from losing all those roaches. Yeah, it was just a really brutal start for the Zerg, and with that did snowball in favor of the Terran. And with that, we're getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Game 2 is going to be on Whispers of Gold. Just catching up. Just catching up here. The rest of the bracket is progressing. Looks like the entirety of the round of 16 has concluded. And now we are getting into... We're getting full force into the quarterfinals. Oh, we are getting some updates here. It looks like Eric has advanced on over Kid B. Eric is in the lower semifinals. Master takes down Victor 2-0. Master's in the upper semis. And as a result, the winner of this series faces off against Master. Meanwhile, the winner of Inexorable and Allison faces off against Eric. Again, I'm hoping to catch those Eric matches, if at all possible, but it depends on how things line up. True. Does depend. Here we go. So again, we're going to be loading into game 2. Whispers of Gold is a much smaller map. Has a shorter rush distance by ground. And the bases are much more exposed as well. So I'm expecting something more aggressive here from our Zerg player. I would not be surprised if he goes for an early pull into an early Roach Warren, but we'll see. See how we do. Follow up the series. Let's go. Let us go. Fun fact, I was planning to maybe have a ladder stream after this cast, but I'm giga tired. So I'm not too sure if the ladder stream is going to be the best choice. Oh my god. Speaking of, I say ladder. I was thinking I was in a ladder game. This is what I mean. I'm out of it, Bobby. I'm out of it. Ay. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran representing ZvT Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg, the red Zerg player for ZvT Gaming. It is Dorminhoco. I'll fix up his name. Dorminhoco. Bam. Beautiful. Ah, he's making me sleepy. Ay. Defeat the sleep. You can do it. As for now, we do have hatch first. It's going to be a hatch first opener here out of our Zerg player. Once again, 15 hatch timing. Meanwhile, we have Kamikaze going to be opening up with a standard opener this time. This time, there is no rack set up on the low ground. No 2 racks Reaper. Just a single racks into expand, I would imagine. So much more standard opener out of our Terran, which will mean that our Zerg player should have a much more comfortable start to the game. As a reminder, last game did lose his initial worker. Just the one drone. He's forced to invest into earlier lings. But this time we should be seeing something much more stable. Hash never died. Who was the real winner? True. Ay. Can the hatch... God, hatchery survived for so long. It was crazy. Insane. As Kamikaze throws down the love... Oh! The spray on spray action. The love heart followed by the Zergling sign. Let's go. I mean, they are teammates. Bear that in mind. They are teammates. I'm sure they practice together as well, quite often. They play together. They compete alongside each other as well. As Reaper dives in, nice spore trick here initially here from Dorminhoco, but no, the drone! Drone goes down, massive pickup. Once again, one worker will fall. That should not have happened. And that's a good start for the Terran. Had to pick off one worker and retreat. Back at home, factory follow-up. Third base is spotted, is confirmed. Kamikaze is aware. Likewise, Overlord Scout is denied entry into the main. Kamikaze is all over this. Denies the Overlord. Likewise, third CC before starport. Odd location for the third CC, I'm not gonna lie. It's very far back, so it's like a hidden third CC. It does mean that the third base is gonna be delayed. Oh, but that is a second factory. And I mentioned this before. I mentioned this in the previous series, how Kamikaze, he is one to... I mean, I actually mentioned this last game, if you remember. How Kamikaze, he is one to embrace mech more often than not. It was important that Dorminhoco confirmed that it wasn't mech in the last game, but this time it is going to be mech. It is going to be that factory. It's going to be mech here from Kamikaze. Oh boy, we're going to be embracing, I would imagine, battle mech with the new old Cyclone. Reaper goes down. Reaper does fall, but it's not about the Reaper. Not anymore. It's about the factories, about the Hellions, and the would-be Cyclones. Yeah, third factory is on the way. Ay. Dorminhoco has yet to confirm. Remember, the initial Overlord was denied the scout by the Marines, but I believe there are no Marines here to deny the scouts at the natural, so the Overlord should eventually confirm what's going on. Eventually. Meanwhile, this time, we do see no Roach Warren, Baneley Nest instead. Oh, we're setting up for Ling Bane. Little does Dorminhoco know it's not a bio army. It's mech. This is where roaches are necessary. Roaches, they will be necessary here. Blue Flame Hellions, they roast up Ling Bane real quick, real easy. Hellions, they dive into the natural. Head towards... yeah, they head into the third, head towards the natural. Standard layer timing here out of Dorminhoco. Again, setting up for Ling Bane. Safety starts. He's set up for like a Hellbat all-in or a Hellbat push. Hellions, they threaten a dive. More Hellions building up. Overlord confirms. And now Dorminhoco knows. He sees all three factories. Blue Flame. I'm going to set the extended alliance. Blue Flame and backfield accelerators on the way. It's all coming. And we need that Roach Warren. Speaking of, there it is. Roach Warren has been placed. Dorminhoco needs more time. Hellions are moving out. Blue Flame is almost done. And how many Hellions? 11, sorry. 11 Hellions here for Kamikaze. And there's not much to stop him. The Queens, they can do what they can to deflect. But the Hellions are looking for a way, and they're still waiting for Blue Flame. And then he can just run past the Queens. Can attempt to. Plenty of Lings, though. Lings, they do deter. Massive Hellion shot's going to be going off. Oh my god, the Lings, they get roasted. And now they're headed for the Mineral Line, and there's not much to defend. 28 Lings on the way. Eva Chamber does deny, but Hellions, they rotate over. Drones are getting roasted. The boys are being pulled in, and this is becoming far too much. This is becoming brutal damage. 11 drones. He's not done. 11 getting up to 12, getting up to 14. Ooh, 15. 15 drones go down. That's an entire Mineral Line. Brutal losses for Dorminhoco, and he falls behind. Zerg players now down in workers, down in economy, even on bases, no fourth hatchery. And at this point, Dorminhoco, he's borderline all in. He runs into more Hellions, into more Cyclones. Banelings welding into the natural. Dorminhoco hoping to distract. And Kamikaze, he doesn't notice. Is distracted. Banelings, they waddle in. SCVs, they're bunching up. 7 SCV kills, not bad. Decent damage. Dorminhoco, he's still behind in economy, but not as much as he once was. This Kamikaze is getting into tank production now. Four more factories on the way. Kamikaze's macro has been slipping. Otherwise, these factories would have been already thrown down, and it'd be a little bit cleaner here. So Kamikaze clearly focusing a little on his Hellion run by earlier. Dorminhoco still trying to recover. Still droning up. Still down in workers. Kamikaze moving out once again. This time with Cyclones, so we can actually trade against Roaches. Dorminhoco getting supply blocked. 5 Overlords on the way. Now is not the time. Kamikaze does poke in. Clears up all the creep. Doesn't commit. Doesn't commit yet. Hatchery's under fire.
Game paused.
And we do have a bit of a pause here. Hopefully everything's okay. May have microed a little bit too hard and just yanked his mouse out of his PC. More than happy to wait. And as we kind of settle in and take in the game state here, Dorminhoco, of course, he is trying to embrace Lingbane Roach Ravager. It's a very mid-game composition, and it can trade well against mech. The problem, though, because of all the drone kills that we've seen throughout this game, Dorminhoco, he can't keep up. He's down in supply. And as we mentioned in the previous game, in Game 1, if you're down in armor supply with Roach Ravager, then you're in a rough place. You're in a rough place in life. You know, it's already an inefficient army, and likewise, mech can trade well against it. So it's just a really rough state here for Dorminhoco. Now, it's not insurmountable. Dorminhoco, he can bounce back if he can, for example, catch this army. If he can somehow catch this army, if he can clean up the initial marauding force of Hellion Cyclone, or if Kamikaze's out on the map and we go for another Baneling run by. Earlier, we had a pretty successful Baneling counterattack. We could see that again. We could see another Baneling run by, a Ling run by into a Mineral Line. While Kamikaze is distracted, there is potential here to bounce back, but the onus is on Dorminhoco to do so. The onus is on the Zerg player to pull off a run by, to pull off a counterattack, to get across the map, to catch the Terran off guard, or to force mistakes. That's kind of where the onus does lie currently on Dorminhoco. As for now, he is double expanding. And we're just waiting for the tech issues to be resolved. All good. I guess we can take this moment to go over the bracket itself. I was mentioning it earlier, but the bracket has been progressing. Here. Again, Master is waiting for the win of the series. Master is the best Protoss in all of Latino America, so Master, he is favored to even win the entire tournament, or at least make it to the finals. Likewise, Eric is also waiting for Inexorable and Allison in the lower semis as well. But it looks like our players are ready. We are jumping back in. Alright, jumping back in. Kamikaze backs off. Looks like the mouse has been plugged in once again. We're good. Kamikaze knocking down those rocks. Getting ready for his own move out. The rocks are destroyed. Kamikaze is rocking up here. Catches out the queens. There's a handful of roaches to defend. But Dorminhoco, he doesn't really have much here to work with. Yeah, the Cyclones are going to be snowballing out of control. The base is going to go down. Behind this, no Ravagers, a handful of Roaches, a handful of Banelings, but alas, this Battlemech army can kite these Banelings to death. There's no bailing speed. No speed. Oh, two of them will connect though. Not bad. Bailing speed 10 seconds away. Cyclones, they rotate, they get more lock-ons. Bailing speed kicks in. The Hellions are getting caught out. What about the Cyclones, though? This Kamikaze kites well. Takes down all the Banelings, and there's almost nothing left. There's almost nothing left here for Dorminhoco. He will catch out the tanks at least. I don't know what the tanks are doing here. Tanks randomly moving out. They get caught out. One of them will survive, just barely. And that was the army. That was the entire army of Dorminhoco. He's trying to remax, trying to rebuild. He has no time. He has no time. Kamikaze should not back off. He's going in for the kill. Retreats for now, trying to regroup. The tank is going to be targeted. The tank goes down. Banelings morph in. But Kamikaze, again, he has no reason to back off. He can just commit. Banelings doing what they can. They get a Hellbat. But GG gets killed. Again, he gets overwhelmed. Well played. Ay, caramba, papi. He's like, oh, I almost hit with my Banelings. Almost. And GG gets called. Kamikaze will take the 2-0, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Kamikaze is going to be facing off against a Master in the next round. Best of luck. Best of luck to Kamikaze. Master has been patiently waiting. Shout out and my condolences to Dorminhoco. Again, just had a really rough start, both in Game 1 and Game 2. Game 1, his roaches got caught out, and he just, things very quickly snowballed out of control. Game 2, the Hellion run-by. The Hellion run-by, if you remember, killed 15 drones. 15 workers. Basically, an entire mineral line went down to the initial Hellion run-by, and Dorminhoco never recovered. He never recovered from there. He was just perpetually behind economically in that game, in that series, and was overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. Kamikaze does advance on, and we are getting ready for our next match, for our next series. We're getting ready here for the lower semis, or for the semifinals, as our players are getting ready. Now, technically, I do have the option. To, as we switch our scenes over to catch up, we do have the option to follow Kamikaze into Master, and I'm sure that's going to be a very good PvT. I'm sure it is, but we're a little bit biased here, okay? We're a little bit biased on the CranKy Ducklings, and I mentioned before that Eric, in the last Code for Giants Cup, Eric did lose to Inexorable. Did lose to him in the semifinals, not even the finals. In the semifinals, Eric got knocked out. We weren't able to cast it. We were otherwise unavailable. We were busy casting Elite League at the time, so we weren't able to cover cover Code for Giants Cup number 16. We are here for number 17, and we are here for our boy Eric, okay? He's a fellow CranKy Duckling. He's one of our own. He's one of the Ducklings, so we're here for him. And this time, I want to be here for a semifinals match. I want to be here for him. I want to be there to cheer him on. Eric. So, best of luck to Master and Kamikaze. I'm going to be focusing, though, and switching over to wait for Eric's next match.